Our first speaker is Carmen Enamdi, who is the Chief Education Officer of a Detroit middle school where more than 300 students and teachers practice the TM technique twice daily as part of the school's wellness program. One of the first programs of its kind in the world. Carmen Enamdi. Welcome.
Hello. I've been meditating since 1973, and in deciding to add TM to our school program, I thought about a few things. One, the difference between education as it used to be and education as it is now. When I think of the comparison, there are three things that come to mind. One is consistency. Yesterday, education was very consistency. Even if it didn't make sense, it was still consistent. You went to school with the same children that you lived in the neighborhood with, and those were also the children you played with after school. There was a routine. The other word I think of is physical. There was so much physical activity. You played after school, and you had 3 recesses: morning, afternoon, lunch, and afternoon. A lot of activity. And the third thing is there was a barrier between the adult world and the world of children. There were certain things you just did not know about. Well, my goodness, TV had three stations. So, I think the TV went off at 12 o'clock, didn't it, right after the news? So there wasn't a lot of opportunity to have a lot of input into what goes on in the world for children. Well, today, we don't have that consistency. People shop for schools. It doesn't necessarily mean that you live in the same neighborhood and play with the same children. We also don't have time for a lot of physical activity because we feel some kind of need to show academic outcomes. And in showing all of these academic outcomes, recess seems like a waste of time. So with more rigor in the classroom, of course, ironically, that's when we need more recess. I also think that living in a technological age, there's so much information coming in all of the time. And through all of these channels on television, through cable, if there's a plane crash, you watch that plane crash all day long. But so is the 7-year-old. So is the 5-year-old. There's so much information coming in, and yet the children really don't have the maturity to digest all of this. We hardly have the maturity to digest all of this. So what we decided in our school, and especially I took responsibility for this as a school leader, is to decide how do you help them navigate the 21st century? What tools do they need to be able to address this new world? Because it isn't going to change. So 13 years ago, we implemented TM in our wellness curriculum. We're a very health-conscious school. We don't have red meat in our lunch program, for instance. There's no caffeine, no teachers in the teacher's room with coffee. No, everything is herbal. So we're a health-conscious school. So we decided at Nataki Taliba Schoolhouse of Detroit that we would extend our wellness curriculum to include TM. We think it's so important that we set aside time each day, twice a day, to meditate. Our students go in during homeroom in the morning and then in the afternoon. We have found that through TM over the past 13 years, our children are more focused on their work, they're more patient with the learning experience, and they're more reflective about their behavior. We even have them say that they really appreciate just quiet time with themselves. And it's been noted a number of times that our children are extremely good in their interpersonal relationships, very supportive of each other. This has become so important that we also give it as a health benefit for our teachers. There's nothing more wonderful than to have teachers that don't even work at the school anymore, or children who are now in high school that call you and say, that was the greatest tool you could have ever given us. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen.